Hello everyone. I've decided to provide an online lecture outlining and explaining some of the skills that you are going to use for your upcoming individual presentation, which begins on Monday. I understand that it would have been ideal to go through these skills before the actual date, so I figured let's talk about it now, and hopefully you get the opportunity to get some ideas and some tips and advice on what you need to do to be successful on our first individual presentation, which will commence on Monday, February 6th. So I'm just going to go over the essentials. I'm basically going to go over the rubric and give you some examples on how you can be successful and what you need to do to stand out to the audience and to stand out to me and to get the top marks possible. Because like I mentioned, I've always focused on the highest marks. So as you can see for eye contact, to get 5 marks out of 20, you want continuous shared eye contact, faces the audience and refers to notes or objects less than once a minute, and rarely glances down or at part of the room away from the audience. So in other words, you just want to look directly at the audience. You don't want to be staring at a wall. We talked about this at around week 3, I should say, and honestly, it's just a matter of making that contact with the audience. Don't just look at one person, right? You want to make eye contact with all the audience members and don't focus on one or a few individuals, right? You want to glance everyone's eyes, make contact with everyone. And I think that's just an important method. Looking down at your notes or looking at the PowerPoint, having your back facing the audience is not an essential way to determine your eye contact. Obviously, we can't see your eyes, and therefore it's not essential and not engaging enough for the audience to want to listen and get involved. So realistically, just keep your eyes up, make eye contact with everyone else, look at other people's set of eyes. It's a very simple process when you think about it, and obviously you do have to show and display some confidence, and making that eye contact will allow you to display that confidence. Body language. I think this one's very important as well. Right off the bat, a lot of audience members and people can detect your energy straight out of your body language, right? Your shoulders tucked in, you're slouching down, looking down. It's going to indicate right away the type of energy that you're presenting to the audience when you're presenting. And once again, I'll look at number 5, engaging. Uses gestures and expressions to enhance the presentation, and the speaker appears very natural. And you can't even see it right now, but I'm using my hand gestures as I'm speaking, right? Because even though it doesn't matter that you're not seeing my body right now, it's just part of the way that I present to deliver the content or the message I want to present. So a good way to stand is with your feet far enough to maintain a good balance, right? You don't want to have your feet too close together. You can sometimes fall off or fall to the side, get a little bit off balance. So, keep your feet down, keep it firm, and have your shoulders, not tucked in obviously, but have your shoulders out and very broad to the audience, and your chest out as well, right? Having your chest out shows that confidence and that ability to engage and discuss with the audience. Walk around when you're presenting. I don't know if you've seen or have at least paid attention to me doing this. I like to walk around. I don't want to stand in one area. Keep your body moving and fluid, right? Keeping your body moving is going to allow people to keep attention and stay engaged with what you're trying to say. So it is suggested to move around. Even if you don't want to walk around, just kind of move your arms, move your legs, show that there's some type of movement. It brings out that confidence and ability to basically relay the message to the audience and feel good about what you have to say. And I just said it right there, right? Make it feel natural. Like, even though sometimes it's difficult to express what you're trying to say, you want to show that you do feel confident regardless, even if you don't, if you say something that doesn't make sense, right? It's okay, right? You can correct that and you can move on just by showing that body language and showing to the audience that I'm going to move on because I'm not going to let a simple mistake derail me from what I'm trying to present. And I know, obviously going to school, you want to dress comfortably, and I completely understand that. But when we're coming down to presentations here, I feel that dressing appropriately is something that you should consider. At least no sweatpants. I feel like sweatpants, even though it doesn't really. I wouldn't say it doesn't really matter, but it just shows in this case a lack of professionalism, and we're all developing ourselves to the point where we want to be professionals. And jeans, I feel, are appropriate enough attire when you're presenting, and at least a decent pair of shoes. The attire really determines how much you care about your appearance in front of others. And if you're trying to provide me with a good presentation, at least showing that you care about how you look and what you're doing is gonna make me feel that energy that you do care about what you want right now and what you're trying to achieve. All right. Last thing I want to talk about is voice qualities. So if you look to the bottom right of the screen, there is a fluid delivery. It's easy to understand with excellent vocal variety, articulation, and volume. And the speaker sounded passionate and engaged in the topic. Right? Be loud and proud. It's not really encouraged to be soft-spoken. I understand some individuals may be soft-spoken, but I want to let you know that when I'm marking your presentation, I am going to be at the very back of the room. So I have to have the ability to listen to you and make sure I understand what you're trying to say. And keep in mind, this first individual presentation is talking about yourself and what's unique about you. So I think that it should not be difficult for you to speak about yourself and be hesitant about what you have to say about yourself. You know yourself the best. You should be confident in yourself and what you have to say, and provide some interesting facts about you to get us to know you better and understand who you are and what you're all about. Right? Speak like you know what you're talking about and that you want your message to receive to the audience, right? I know, even though sometimes, like I mentioned, there can be some difficulty articulating some of the words that I have to say, I feel confident in what I'm saying and what I want you to know. When I'm up there in the classroom and I'm presenting and I'm teaching, I know that what I want to say is going to have an impact, and I hope that it is absorbed by the students and by the audience that I am talking to. Speak with passion and care about the topic you're presenting, right? Don't go up there and sound like you don't care, right? Show that you care, show that you're putting in an effort, and don't sound like you're there just to get it over with. I understand that it is difficult for people to present in front of others, but it is an ongoing process. It is something that you have to work with, especially and the majority of you being in operations management, you're going to have to work with people and present strategies and ideas to a group of people. So we are in the first year, and this is the opportunity for you now to identify what's working well and what you need to improve on. Right, change your vocal variety, articulation, and the volume is engaging to the audience members, right? I understand myself. I am quite a loud individual in the classroom, but I do that because I want to make sure you get the message. Vocal variety, right? Change it up. Change the way you speak. Don't be monotone like this all the time and sound like a robot. That doesn't sound very interesting. You have to articulate your voice and provide a variety that is going to keep the audience engaged. Right? You might even hear it in my voice right now, the way that I'm speaking, the way that I'm trying to engage you, even though I am not in front of you at this very moment. It is something to consider, and just to really stand out. And you'll know when your voice is being heard, right? You're going to see that eye contact. You're going to feel that energy. And if the energy is good and positive, then you know you're doing a good job. And of course, if you're detecting that negative energy, it indicates that something that you're doing is, needs to be improved on. So that's why we're going to go through various presentations. You're going to have, what did I say here? Three presentations in this class alone. right? We have this individual presentation and an individual presentation 2, and then the group presentation. So right off the bat, there are 3 presentations for you to work on, and this is only your first year. So keep in mind that this is an essential skill that's going to build confidence, and it's going to make you feel good when you nail down that ability to remain confident and just to feel good overall. And just to summarize everything right now, a short individual presentation is a foundation for continuous practice and improvement, right? So we're only doing a 3 to 4 minute presentation, but you'll see that it's going to go a long way. One thing I wanted to say as well is to be ready to provide feedback to your classmates, because feedback is essential in determining what's going right and what you need to do to improve. And we are going to commence an activity on Wednesday, so next Wednesday will be February 8th, is to provide feedback to each member, and it's going to contribute to your in-process mark. So on Monday, I'll remind you again, but on Monday, be ready to provide feedback. Reflecting on pros and cons of your presentation will allow you to make adjustments and improve. It's all about consistent improvement. It's all about becoming a better person every day. You want to be a better person tomorrow than you were today, and so on, right? So having that ability to go back and reflect on what went well and what you need to do in order to improve and get better is a consistent thing. And then establish rapport with audience members by making direct eye contact and speaking like you are conversing with your audience. Have a conversation. I like to have a conversation with my students. I do my best to relate with students, and when I talk, it's like I want to have a conversation. It's like I want to provide real life examples to help you understand and relate to the material that's attempting to be presented. So these are just some small tips to keep in mind going into Monday's individual presentations. Please stay posted on DC Connect as to the rules that are going to be required for the presentation on Monday. Everyone has to be there on Monday, and I will provide further details, but just make sure you're on DC Connect. And I look forward to watching everyone's presentations on Monday. Take care now.